I'm Hamis, and this is the first in a series of vlogs I'll be filming to document my transition from Finland to America as a registered nurse. I've never had the typical idea of an American dream, yet for some reason I've always been fascinated by the idea of living in the US. Others have criticized and ridiculed my plans, and I do understand I'm giving up a lot by leaving Finland, but then again I'm confident I will also gain a lot in other areas of life. And I also understand that no place on this earth is perfect, and for me this process is really an attempt to find the best compromise for me personally, and I hope I'll find it. So my process started in April 2014. I sent an application to a US-based recruitment company. After screenings and an interview with the recruitment team, I was asked to provide official documents related to my education, my registration, and work experience. I graduated with a BSN in January 14 from an accredited Finnish university. I completed the program in the recommended 3.5 years with 210 credits or 5,600 hours. 75 of those credits or 2,000 hours were allocated for clinical experience in internship settings. The most important internship that I had was worth 15 credits or 400 hours, and I worked in the emergency department. I also wrote my thesis for them. My bachelor's thesis was about purposeful and cost-effective emergency care. I created a patient instructions brochure that the hospital decided to print for use in the ED. And initially over 1,200 copies of the brochure were printed for general circulation to every home, every institution, to provide information that the general public would have an idea when to go to the ED or when to call their general practitioner, to make the system smoother for both the patient and the hospital. So I received my nursing degree from Finland, and all of you must know that the Finnish education system is praised all over the world. In general discussions, I've got the idea that Finnish nurses are held in high esteem as well because of their hardworking attitude. There's this very Finnish concept of sisu, which roughly translates to ultimate perseverance. With regards to Finnish working attitude, we don't mess around and we don't waste anyone's time, not our own time or our employer's time. We take pride in the quality of our work and our effectiveness at work. After graduation, I worked in an acute care medical unit on a fixed-term contract as a locum. Because the economy has negatively affected healthcare and nursing, especially in terms of staffing, I wasn't able to find another job in that area. That's why I moved to the capital area to start a new job in acute and critical care settings. Even so, I worked 2.5 years on back-to-back fixed contracts before signing the real deal, even though it doesn't really make any difference in my day-to-day life. And even though I just signed a contract for an indefinite period, I still want to change my life and I still want to pursue my dreams. I really don't know what the future in this country will be, but right now the economy, the government, all of those things make me worried about my future. The government is dictating and pushing through laws that have already affected my compensation for the work I do. And the fact to begin with is that my hourly rate is just over 15 euros. My annual income is 45,000 euros, which is ridiculous. I have to fold clothes at work. Not really. So I'm applying for a US visa with the help of a recruitment company based in Florida. One of the most significant parts in the process of immigrating to the US on a work-based visa for registered nurses is to take the NCLEX exam. The exam is required of all applicants, native and international. This is different from my experience in Finland because after completing my degree, I could just send an application to the National Board of Nursing and pay a fee to receive my registration. And another difference is that my license will be valid indefinitely unless I do something to give the board a reason to revoke my license. So anyway, for us international nurses, the NCLEX is also a prerequisite for applying and obtaining a green card that will allow you to work in the US. I started my exam preparation in February 2017. The company offered me a full NCLEX review program and he sent me some books and a USB with audio lectures. At this point, I've studied through phases 1 and 2. Phase 1 took 6 weeks and the focus was on becoming familiar with how to approach the NCLEX. Because the NCLEX is unlike any other test or exam you've ever taken in school or even in nursing school. I found this meme that is very characteristic of the NCLEX. It says, while that's a correct answer, that's not the most correct answer. That means that in the exam you can have 4 answer choices and all those choices are factually correct, but when you read the stem of the question, it's asking you what's the initial action, what's the most important action, what's the next action. It's really worth learning how to approach the test, how to not read into the question. You can have all the knowledge, you can have all the work experience, but the test, you just cannot go and take it without studying how to take the test. So in phase 2, the program was built around a tight schedule. The schedule was very demanding, taking into consideration that I had to work full time while studying up to 3, 4 or 5 hours a day. And I'm not even exaggerating, there was a lot to read every week and that material had to be divided into different days. Besides just reading, there were lectures to listen to. At the end of each week I had to take a test to assess my progress in the program and the results had to be consistent. In phase 2 we were given another demanding schedule and this time the schedule was for 10 weeks. The system was the same for phase 2, but the focus was to review and increase knowledge instead of just learning how to take the test, keeping in mind that the test is unlike any other test. So I'm happy to say that I've just finished phase 2 and I'm moving on to the final phase of review. In phase 3, I'll continue reading, I'll be watching videos. Phase 3 only lasts for 2 weeks and within that time I have to read a lot, I have to watch videos, and also I have to take so many more tests, and it's just not end of the week exams because this is only 2 weeks and I have to really get ready for the NCLEX. While I'm still continuing to study, I'm waiting for the board to give me permission to test. Initially it was estimated that I'll be taking my test in July, and that seems to be the case. I'll be taking the NCLEX in Colorado, so I think in July I'll be in Denver. I'm so fortunate because my annual leave coincides with what was estimated for my NCLEX test date. And because it's the summer season when everyone's taking their annual leave, I think it'd be very difficult for me to get any extra days off work, even if I weren't to get paid for that. In the end, I'll be very satisfied if things go as planned. I realize this is the first vlog, but if you're interested or any of this relates to you, I hope you'll subscribe and follow me in the process.